What is up, you guys? Thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Tara. I am a person in long-term recovery who uses plant medicine as a tool in my recovery and who also has some pretty controversial views regarding recovery. That's my new intro, I think. So I'm actually sick to my stomach that June is basically, it's over, right? Like 4th of July weekend is this weekend. So I made this sheet, and for the whole month of July, I am going to track like the things that I am trying to do and like do regularly. I'm going to track them and hopefully tracking them and like posting about it and trying to be accountable online. And if anybody wants to join me and we can have a tracking party or something, I need some accountability in my life. So I was thinking about recording my arrest story today, but we do have a 4-day weekend coming up. So I'm going to see if maybe my husband will at least record part of that with me. He may not, but we'll see. So we'll see how that goes. So I should either way have my arrest story up in like the next week or two. What are we going to talk about today? You know what? Why don't we talk a little bit about cannabis in recovery, right? Because I feel like it's a pretty controversial topic, but it's also a pretty misunderstood topic. And we're going to talk about this topic a lot and in different kind of struggles I had in the beginning with using cannabis in recovery and just speaking about cannabis in recovery, because I had a whole brain full of hardcore abstinent-based 12-step extremist views, and then I was using cannabis like that. It was a struggle for a while, and I still struggle with kind of how to navigate it online, because for example, like my Instagram is much more cannabis based because that's like where I started, and I started posting from like a cannabis advocate point of view. And it wasn't till later when like the cannabis community really helped me realize you can be in recovery and still use plant medicine. Like it's not one or the other. And it's been a struggle even like since accepting that, though, of how to navigate the space, because I don't want to trigger anybody, but then it's like other people's triggers aren't my responsibility, but I still want to be responsible and thoughtful. But I also want to normalize it. So like you can see me smoking weed on Instagram. Fair warning. You know? Like from a cannabis advocate point of view, my Instagram is appropriate, but is my Instagram appropriate for like recovery and using plant medicine? Like there's no book on this. So I'm trying to figure out what is the best way to do this. It took me a long time to put recovery hashtags with cannabis themed hashtags because I was so scared that I would upset somebody in the recovery community if they saw that post. Like, what if it triggers somebody? And I struggle, like I go back and forth on it. But if you are in a space where you are triggered by that, like that's going to be your excuse for you to go and pick up. Like you were in a very fragile state in your recovery anyways, and you would use any excuse to pick up, in my opinion. My position on this has changed a lot, like what I even think and view of substance use disorder, even the fact that I use the word substance use disorder over addiction, while a lot of times I accidentally, like, the word addiction will slip out because it's what I've been used to saying. I do my best to use the word substance use disorder because that is a less stigmatizing word. When you've been indoctrinated and just used to using other words, it's difficult, right? But this is all stuff I've learned from being online, and it's made a lot of what I think different from when I first showed up, so it's just been a challenge. I think that's part of the That's been part of my problem with posting too, and like trying to post regularly and trying to do YouTube, is that I didn't really know like what I was doing, right? Like I didn't, like was I a cannabis advocate? Was I a recovery advocate? Like, could I do both? And cannabis is a complicated topic for a lot of people, and cannabis is absolutely not for everyone. Something I want to make abundantly clear is that I am not advocating for anybody to go and try cannabis. I am not here to help you figure out if cannabis is right for you. Like, everything recovery related is a super personal journey, and the only piece of advice that I would give anyone for navigating like in the idea of cannabis in recovery, what are your intentions? Does it just sound like a freebie to get some sort of feeling, to feel high? Or do you have like a real, like, what is your objective? I guess that is, I would start there and just try to figure it out from there. But I never, like, I'm not here to advocate for people to try it. I am just here for the people who already use it in recovery to help normalize it and to show people that you can achieve long-term recovery using plant medicine, and that our recovery is still valid. This is for informational purposes only. So like I said, that people that already do it feel less alone, and people who don't understand it can maybe hopefully understand it a little better. I feel like we have to have these conversations of normalizing cannabis, and I still don't know what the right way, how to do that, and I'm figuring it out. Like, it's something that's really important to me, and it's important to me, but I still, like, there's no manual. There's really, like, I'm just trying to figure out what makes the most sense. I don't know how I got to talking about my Instagram page on here today, but so be it. Because you still, the message about, cannabis, and again, like, navigating the space of cannabis and recovery is crazy. No, but it's difficult. My problem is that I overthink everything, but it's like easy to overthink this kind of stuff. So, so yeah. And one of the other things I want to do is post on my YouTube channel, and I'm doing it. So, I gotta celebrate my wins when I got some, because a lot of times I'll have weeks that I really just don't accomplish shit. So I gotta celebrate where I can celebrate. And I now have over 300 subscribers, which I'm so excited about. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. And I appreciate the comments. Like, I love the comments. I love having conversations in the comment section. My goal is to always respond to every comment. It may take me a little while, because also, like, it's weird. It doesn't always notify you when someone comments. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, the notifications are weird, but I do appreciate you guys so much. So thank you. And yeah, I know today was a little kind of random, but I gotta do a better job. I have so much to talk about, honestly. Like, I have so many things I want to talk about, but then I forget about them, and I just, like, hit record, and whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. And sometimes that's cool, but I really want to have some content that's actually, thought about, and not just on a whim. So all right, guys, well, thank you, and I will see you next time. And if you guys have any suggestions of anything that you want me to talk about, leave them down below. All right, thanks.